Okay guys, this is the reason why we're having a change of venue for tonight's video. And that is because little Jaquee right here, little Jack, hey, he had to go in to get blood work done. And Jack is not great. Jack is not great with getting anything done like shots, so we have to give him like a little calming pill. We have to give him a pill to calm down. So now he is just real sleepy. So I thought I would just come in here. So stay tuned because this is just the intro. I know I look great, right? This is just the intro. I'm not going to do my dance yet. It's coming. Hold on. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, and it's Debsy, and place to be, it's Debsy. Bloop, bloop, that's me. Boop, Debsy. Hey guys, and I don't know exactly how to do this, but as you can tell in my opening, I'm in a different area of the house. That's because it is just me and Jack. And as I explained, Jack is laying down. Jack is kind of sleepy because we had to give him a little calming pill for him to be able to get, for them to take blood, because Jack has to go in next week and get a couple teeth and get some teeth removed. So he's just relaxing in here, and I had to cover up his bits. I had to cover up his bits. So he's right here. So listen, welcome to my channel. I know I am out of like, what do I do in here? It's the same thing. So listen, welcome to my channel, and I hope everybody is having a great Tuesday. I just took my shower, so my face is a little red. I know I don't get on here to do fashion reviews, obviously. So we're going to talk about this week's Sister Wives. It's the one-on-one. It is part 2 of the one-on-one. And right off the bat, I'm going to tell you, I noticed 2 things. Number one, Robin really, you can tell she wants no parts of any of this, because there were very few questions that she asked that she answered with a definitive answer. And also, I'm going to tell you, there were a few times, and I noticed this in the first episode too, but there were a few times when Cody was challenging Suki and was like, I'm not going to answer that. I don't have to answer it, and you don't have to make me answer it. And she came right back at him, and I like that, and I love that. Okay, so we started off with a continuation of the discussion of Cody's. It's basically like Cody in the eyes of the church is a failure because he lost his wives. Janelle and Christine both talked on this, and they had said that, listen, when that happens, when there's a polygamy marriage and a man loses some of his wives, if you don't know, I'm in the TV room and there's TV right there and it has the news. So I'm like, look at that bridge. I'm watching NBC. I have NBC News right there. And I'm like, whoa, okay, let me try and focus. So in that instance, the problem is the man. The problem's not the woman. They're like, one of the very few times I think that they would probably say that the problem is not the woman. The problem is the man in that situation. Okay. And then here's another thing that I did notice. Remember I mentioned about Robin? I have written down, by the way, BT Dubs, is Robin really this stupid? Because she watched the clip where Janelle had called her Cody's sacred cow, and she's like, Suki said, well, what do you think about that? And she says, I don't know. What does that mean? What does that mean? Is she really that dumb? Does she not read? I mean, has she not read anything. I mean, and you can tell that she obviously doesn't want to be there. Okay, so then Janelle brought up a real interesting like line of discussion. She said that basically she feels like Cody runs interference for Robin to take some of the pressure off of him. It's almost like he's becoming the villain. He's becoming villainous to protect her. Like he's rewriting history, and he's putting himself, like he's stepping in front of a bullet to save her, to protect her. And she brought up another good thing. I mean, like he's rewriting history to do this, but she's like, Janelle said he's never been this mean. Like he was never this mean about it. And I agree. And both Cody and Robin, now listen, when Cody and Robin were like, why do they have to bring up, when Robin was like, why do they have to bring up my name? And Cody was like, why do they have to keep talking about Robin during these, in relationship to these breakups? Well, the reason being is because 2 of the 3 breakups, the women mentioned that a big factor in it was like favoritism towards Robin. So Robin was a factor. So that's why they're mentioning Robin. And then Cody, the thing that struck me, I don't know if anybody else noticed this or put any kind of like weight on it, but Cody's saying that he doesn't care about why these divorces happen. That shows me that he never really cared. He never really cared for them, and he did nothing to fight for them or to change. Because anytime, like when they showed Janelle talking to him when they were having dinner, he just immediately shut her down on everything, tried to gaslight her. So that to me doesn't, number one, shows he didn't listen to them, and number 2, that he just didn't care. And that's terrible. And that showed you how much he cared about those marriages. The question, now listen, this was a question from Suki to Janelle. And it basically was something like, would you be able to sit down and have a conversation with them? Them meaning Robin and Cody. And she said, sure, if it's superficial, yes. But am I going to be friends with them or hang out with them or develop any kind of like relationship? No. And the question was why not? And she was like, she came right out and said, I just don't like them. What is it about them that you don't like? I don't know. There's just something, I just don't like them. Boom. There you go. That is exactly why Janelle is my number 1 wife on there. Because she comes straight out and she says, I don't like them. I'm never going to be friends with them. Listen, there are people that I know that maybe I don't know. There are people that I know that I would be like, if somebody asked me, would you ever hang out with them? No, I wouldn't want to hang out with them. I don't like them. I don't know what it is. Or if I can see somebody on TV, or like in this trial that I'm watching with Karen Reed, I can take a look at somebody on a stand and be like, no, I don't like them. There's something I don't like about them, and I know people are like, we'll get to know them. Sometimes you just know, and that's Janelle. Janelle was just like, I don't know. I don't like them. And as an aside to this, I absolutely 100 million % would watch a show called The Gospel According to Janelle. Out of all of the women on this show right now, if any of them were to branch off and have a spinoff, the one that I would watch 1,000,000% would be Janelle. I 100% would watch the gospel according to Janelle. She says it like it is. She just puts it right out there. Okay, so then they started talking about Mary and this whole moving incident. You remember when Nathan and Cody came over to move her out, and Cody was in the truck, and then Nathan and Mary were moving the exercise bike into the truck, and she backed up into his wiener. They all thought it was funny, and listen, it was funny. Everybody, all the women who watched it, and Cody watched it, well, up to a point, thought it was hilarious. They all thought it was funny. Mary was like, I was laughing really hard because it was awkward. And even Cody was like, it was funny. It was funny until I had to let them know, I am Robin's. This is Robin's, and this is not right, and this is sexual, and this. She didn't want none of that. Don't worry. Mary hadn't been in that area for years. Mary don't want none of that. So everybody, when they was watching it, they thought it was funny. They were laughing. Except for Robin. Robin's look wasn't that funny. Like, and she says that she doesn't, like, she doesn't know what to think about it because she said, I haven't drawn the lines yet. I don't buy that. No, I don't buy that at all. And then Cody says about how this is the kind of woman that I wish I was married to. This is the kind of woman I wish I was married. And Christine, I'll give this up to Christine. You're correct, Christine. That's an asshole. That's someone who's disrespectful of the woman who gave you children. The woman who gave you children, who you probably don't no longer talk to, that was your wife. That was the woman that started off this whole plural marriage thing. If it wasn't for Mary, you probably wouldn't have met the love of your life. The sacred cow, Robin. So that's disrespectful. Mary, and he called Mary the favorite ex. Mary thinks it's hilarious that he's calling her the favorite ex. And she's okay with it because she's like, listen, that means that we're in a good area, that we're good. We're not in we don't have a contentious relationship where it's focused on like angst and anger. And I would rather live in that kind of world than, and I would rather live in a world where it's funny, where we can laugh at things. And also she did mention about when he said, I wish I was married. I wish that I could have been married to this woman. She was like, listen, you were married to that woman. You just weren't around enough to notice that this is how I was. You were married to that woman. So I don't know what that means, but you just weren't around. And then they also showed when they were moving Mary out, and he got real like sad and started crying and talking about how it's the end of an era, and that goofy thing with when next time she gets married, who is that? Next time she gets married, I'm gonna walk her down the aisle, which everybody thought that was everybody thought that was like, excuse me? Because it's not even like their divorce. Like, their divorce, out of the 3 divorces, theirs ended the best. But he still was a dick in the whole thing. Like, maybe if they ended up as like great friends, what's that? Maybe if they ended up as great friends. I want to tape this because There's something on there that I think I want to see. Okay. Wait, what am I doing? How did I do that? Wait, hold on a second. I'm taping something. Wait. Let's do that. Let's tape that. Okay. I want to see something on there. Okay, so yeah, once again, let's start over. So they were talking about how when he was crying and everything about it's an end of an era. And I thought that was super odd. But he was saying, and I mean, I get it that he was crying. He's saying that he was crying because of like nostalgia, and he was thinking about the good times. Both Mary and Robin were really confused. And Robin you knew Robin was going to take that time to be like, well, if you were so upset about this, so sad, well then why didn't you fight for it? It was too late. By that point, he was like, nostalgia was hitting him, but I think like his desire to be out of that relationship was far heavier and was far more important than any nostalgia or any good times. And once again, with Christine was like, he strung her along for years and years and years and years and put out there how he wished he never married her and how he didn't love her and all this stuff. And then he's coming up and is crying and saying about how much he misses them. No. And then along that lines, Mary says that she just talked to Cody like 2 weeks beforehand. 2 weeks before. I took it as like 2 weeks before they started. I took it as they spoke 2 weeks earlier, like 2 weeks before this taping. And he said that he's still grieving the ending of their marriage. And she was like, and I completely agree. She was like, no, you don't get to do that. You don't get to put that grieving at my doorstep and then try and make me feel like a villain for going through with this divorce, with this release, because of the fact that you spent all of this time out here talking mad shit on me, telling the world and everybody how you wish you never married me, you didn't love me, and all these terrible things about me. And now you're going to come and you're going to lay this at my doorstep. No, She's not saying he can't grieve. She's saying you can grieve, keep it to yourself. I don't need to know about you grieving. I don't need to know that. And then it was Christine and David. David was there with Christine. They were talking about when David met Cody at Gwendolyn's bridal shower. And Cody described it as pleasant. Now, what was happening behind the scenes that we didn't know was that we didn't know that Cody waited until the very last minute to let them know that he was going to be showing up, and that he was bringing Robin. So there was a little bit of, even if they would have known further ahead of time, what was, that they were going to be coming, there would still be maybe a little bit of stress and angst about it. But, right just at the last minute, he's like, we're going to be showing up. So I can understand that. My question is, why is it that Robin can't even watch this? Like, everybody else is watching it, including Cody, even though Cody was like, I really don't want to watch this. But he watched it, and she doesn't watch it. That's weird to me. That's just odd. and this was a backhanded compliment. When he said something like, and this was about seeing Christine with David. And he said, the idea of her falling in love makes her, what did he say? The idea of her falling in love makes her talk less about me. So not like just, hey, I'm happy that she's falling in love. It's more about the fact that I'm happy they're not going to be talking about me. So that's crazy. And he was like, is it backhanded? Yeah, it's backhanded. Okay, so here's another thing I noticed. And this is just an observation, but when you're watching Mary talk about Christine and how she wouldn't really be able to she doesn't think she could have like a relationship with Christine because of trust issues. I don't know what that's about. And then Christine, we know Christine and Janelle, just they don't get along with Robin. All of this makes me wonder, like, why they thought that this combination of women would work for plural marriage. Because I mean, they just don't seem to like each other. Like, the only ones that seem to like each other are like Christine and Janelle and Mary and Robin. And so I don't understand how that could work. I mean, it seems like maybe Janelle and Mary just like coexisted. Nobody besides Christine and Janelle really seemed to really like each other. And Cody, here's another thing that made me kind of chuckle. And that's when Cody said he's forgiving. I forgive easily. Do you? How many of your children do you talk to? Okay. So, and then there was the possibility of Cody brought up the possibility of like a guy's trip with David. Maybe, here's a naughty thought. Maybe I should have a guy's trip with David. And in my mind, I was like, they would absolutely never go for that. And then David and Christine were both like cool with that. That'd be weird. That'd be 100,000,000% weird. And Christine was even like, would be open to a double date in the future. Why? He said all that shitty stuff about you. He made up some lies about you, and he talked shit to everybody about you. Why? He's an asshole. You know he's an asshole. You called him an asshole. Why would you want to go on a double date with him? I would want to see him the second Sunday of never, if I was her. And lastly, Suki then tells Cody, hey, Christine was actually open to all of this. You know, you guys going on like a double date, or you and David going on a guy's trip. And she's open to, you know, working on a relationship. And suddenly his demeanor changes immediately. And he's like, maybe, but maybe not. I was like, oh. And the reason why he's not for it is because he says, get this. He says that Christine is undermining. Christine is undermining. And then he says something like, I can't talk about anything else. That, I think, would have to do with legal proceedings. So, now listen, in the comments, you know, if you watched, please let me know what you thought. We have two more. We have 2 more episodes of the one-on-ones. So, there we go. This might be this will probably be the last time that you see me in this room doing anything. It is comfortable though. I mean, here, let me show you. There's Jack right there. There's baby boy. And then just, here we go. It's just our, yeah, we do have a Christmas tree up. It's just our, oh, I got that for my mom for, Mother's Day. It's just our TV room. So you can't, I don't know that you can see that much of it. Yeah, it's just our TV room. So with that being said, listen, oh, what am I doing it with that here? Okay, so with that being said, listen, if nobody told you yet today, take your Dramamine before watching this. If nobody told you yet today you were loved, seen, and heard, please make sure that you put love, kindness, compassion, acceptance, hope, and positivity out there in the world. So it comes right back at you. Please remember to be aware of your surroundings, be smart and safe. Let's hydrate with some water. And if you're in a dangerous situation, please know that Dolly and I are sending our love, thoughts, prayers, and all types of positive energy your way so that you make it through. Love you guys, and I will see you tomorrow for a taste test. And let me say this. Here's Jackie. He's sleeping. Okay. Bye, guys. See you tomorrow. Bye.